Hi guys, it's Cameron from the Mighty Blues. Welcome back today to the channel. Welcome back today to another live stream, our fourth live stream of the week. Absolutely smashing it. The games are coming thick and fast for Everton Football Club, and tomorrow we've got a really important one against Watford away. So we're going to talk about it in today's game. Of course, we're going to give my predicted starting 11. We'll go through all of that. We'll talk about Marco Silva's pre-game press conference as well, which he had today. He mentioned a little bit about injury news. He mentioned a little bit about Tom Davies as well, and overall he spoke about, the whole game on Tuesday night and how we need to start improving and how we need to go forward in terms of obviously making sure we don't concede silly goals and scoring goals as well, because we didn't create enough chances for me on Wednesday night. And look, don't get me wrong, we were playing against the best team in the country and one of the best teams in Europe, and it's not easy to create chances, but to only have one shot on target, it really didn't leave us in a good position, even if we didn't concede the goals that we did. So we'll talk about that all obviously in today's live stream. You can see my predicted starting 11 just above my head there. I think it's there, yeah. And you can see the team I've decided to go with. Obviously, I've kept the same formation as that defeat to Manchester City, because I felt, despite the fact that we were beaten in that game, I felt that, we performed to a decent level and we actually played quite well. Listen, don't get me wrong, the goals we conceded, more specifically the first goal, was a poor goal to concede, and, it was a goal that, sorry, John says, fix your cam. I don't know whether the camera seems okay to me. Is there anything up with you guys? Oh, he says he's retracted it. I don't know, but he said, I hope your driving lesson was alright as well. It was, thank you very much. But yeah, like I said, the goal for me that we conceded just was absolutely shocking, and we need to start working on that, but we also need to work on scoring more goals as well. But however, despite all of that, I felt that we actually played quite well, and I felt like the three midfielders and the playing the 4-3-3 actually worked quite well. I think Adesanya Gay played a lot better than he has done in recent weeks regarding the whole transfer situation. I thought the weeks before that, before he picked up his injury, he was quite poor, whereas I thought against Manchester City he actually dug in and he played quite well. Tom Davies I thought was absolutely excellent and really took the responsibility on of having the captain's armband, and Andre Gomez as well having a good game as well. So I think Marco Silva should just keep with the same team and keep with the same formation as well. John says, fix your hair, lol. I don't know what's going on with me here at the moment, to be honest, mate. I didn't bother doing anything with it, so it's just a little bit mad. It's probably going to go invisible because of the green screen. It's probably blonde when I don't do anything with it. So, but anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to tweet the stream out so everybody knows we are live on this fine Friday night. I do apologise that it's a little bit later than usual. Obviously, we usually tend to do the streams around 6:15, 6 o'clock. But as John mentioned, then I had a driving lesson, so I had to suspend the stream for a little while. Let's see what the live chat's saying. Jamie puts a thumbs up. Hi, Jamie. Welcome to the stream. Shabba says, come on, Everton. Surely we can't get turned over by these. Hopefully not. Rob says, we need to shut that yard dog Deeney up. Yes, and we'll be talking about that in just a minute. Jamie says, Silva surely will have the players fired up for this match. He has to for me. And Emily says, Cenk Tosun coming to the UEFA Champions League. Cenk Tosun seems to want to stay where he is at the minute, and that's absolutely fair enough. You can't knock a player for wanting to stay at the club. And Shabba says, just noticed Keegan Dowell is playing for Sheffield Wednesday tonight. Yes, they are playing in the Championship tonight. I'm going to try and catch as much of that game as I can and see how Keegan Dowell is doing out there, because, it's a really good level of football for him, and it's a tough league as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But it's a good point to bring up first. I suppose we'll start the stream, obviously, off with some comments made about this game. Some comments from Watford captain Troy Deeney. So Troy Deeney was speaking apparently to the fans yesterday, and he said, listen, I don't want there to be any hostility towards Marco Silva. It will only give them an excuse to become more fired up and want the game more, basically. And his words were, leave us to kick the shit out of them. Now, briefly mentioned this in yesterday's live stream through the Manchester City game. Only briefly, I said, listen, Troy Deeney's an absolute idiot. For me, I don't mind the attitude of, leave us to do the business, we'll do the business, don't give them an excuse to be fired up. I get that, and I understand the shithousery to say, listen, we'll beat them, don't worry about it. But I just think he's a bit of a tit for saying what he did, to be honest. And it would make it even better if we go out and beat them now and shut him up and make him, absolutely embarrass him in front of his home crowd by going out and beating them tomorrow. And to be honest, Marco Silva should be going into the dressing room before the game tomorrow, and he should have been there at Finch Farm today, and he should have been there yesterday, and he should have said, have you seen what Soidini said here? He said he's going to kick the shit out of us. So what are you going to do? Are you not going to go and get embarrassed again by somebody that's basically said, don't worry about them, we'll embarrass them? No, let's go out and let's show that passion, let's show that fire, let's show that desire that we showed in spells in the Manchester City game. Because look, I'm not going to cloud it, we weren't perfect against Manchester City. We really, really weren't perfect, because at the end of the day, we lost the game and we conceded another sloppy ball over the top goal, which we've seen countless amount of times this season. But what we did show is we showed a bit of fight, we showed a bit of passion, we showed a little bit of, hang on, you know what, we're going to have a go here, and we mightn't be as good as yet, we mightn't be able to create as many chances, we might be able to score as many goals, but we're going to have a go, and we're going to give you a real game of football. And that's what we've done on Wednesday night. And if we can do that against a team like Watford, we'll beat Watford. If we can give passion and we can, work as hard as they do and fight as much as they do, we'll beat them, because we've got better players, we've got more quality in our side. They sold their best player to us. We have got more quality in our side than Watford have, but there's no question about it. If Watford come with that passion and that fire and we don't, they will beat us, because they've got yard dogs like Troy Deeney, who aren't the best footballers in the world, but they'll give it 100% week in, week out. And sometimes giving it 100% beats people that don't try hard despite the quality change. Sometimes, that old saying, isn't it, about the rabbit in the air or the tortoise in the air, whatever it was, and slow and steady wins the race and all that. Sometimes you don't have to be the best footballer in the world to win a game of football. If your opposition aren't trying hard, and if your opposition aren't giving it all for their badge, their team, their management. And that's what we seen a little bit of on Wednesday night. We actually seen the players fighting for the fans. We actually seen the players fighting for Marco Silva. There's been a lot on Twitter and on social media recently about, has Marco Silva lost the dressing room? I personally don't think he has. And I think it proved on Wednesday night that he hadn't, because them players were fighting for him. Them players were saying, well, you know what? We're going to go and give our absolute everything tonight for Everton Football Club. And it mightn't be good enough. And in the end, it wasn't, because nobody is under the illusion that we're as good as Manchester City. Nobody is under the illusion that our players are as good as theirs. But what we done is we give a bit of heart and we give a bit of fight. And the crowd got on top of that, and the crowd got involved as well. As the game grew, the atmosphere got a lot better, and that pushed the players as well. And that pushed everybody to try and get a result out of that game. I don't care what anybody says. Every single Evertonian at Goodison Park wanted the result out of that game on Wednesday night, as did the 11 players running around in the Everton shirt. And for me, there was a couple of key things that instilled that fight and instilled that passion into that team. One was the change of formation from Marco Silva, and that's why I don't think I'd change it, because I think what he's found in a 4-3-3 is he's found a formation that allows three midfielders to play how they need to play. When we play with a 4-2-3-1, you've got strictly two central defensive midfielders and a centre attacking midfielder. You've literally got 2 8s and a 10. The 10, which is Gylfi Sigurdsson, can't come back. It has to stay in that role, and for me, doesn't have the pace to stay in that role. And the central defensive midfielders, when you're playing a player like Tom Davies, who is an attacking-minded young player and is hungry and just wants to get the ball and go that way, when you've got him playing in the central defensive midfielder role where he can't go past a certain point, so he has to pass sideways or backwards, crowds are getting on him because they're thinking, why aren't you just going forward? Why aren't you just bursting the line? Why are you stopping there? Because that's the role. Whereas in a 4-3-3, you've got Davies, Guy and Gomez, or Davies, Guy and Sigurdsson. It doesn't matter who the personnel is, but you've got players there that are playing as just a regular midfielder. They're all centre midfielders. They're not an 8, they're not a 10, they're not a 6, they're not a CDM, they're not a cam. They're central midfielders. And that allows Tom Davies to be able to go forward. That allows Garnagay to adopt his natural defensive role and just drop back a little bit if he needs to. It allows Gomez to just sit around the middle and just pick up on any loose balls. But more importantly for me, it allows Tom Davies to just pick the ball up and just run. And just run at players and drive it like he wants to do. He is a young player. He's hungry. He just wants to go forward with the ball. He doesn't want to be restricted. And I think we've seen that on Wednesday night. We've seen how that benefited Tom Davies. The captain's armband as well. I've put it as this title of this team, Davies to remain captain. Marco Silva was speaking about Tom Davies as the captain today. And he said the usual, Listen, it was nice to see him taking responsibility. It was nice to see him, riling up the team. But he is only still a very, very young player, and you can tell that by, the past couple of seasons. And that's true. That's fair enough. But for me, we need stability in this team more than anything. And I don't just mean stability with the captaincy. I mean stability with the starting 11, stability with a midfield three, stability with a striker. The thing we are lacking mostly at our football club at the minute is stability. And maybe that's one of the issues as to why we're not performing. Because every week it's pretty much a different personnel. Every week is a different captain. Every week there's a different striker. Every week there's a different centre-back partnership. And it does not work. That does not work. What Marco Silva needs to do is he needs to sit down with a piece of paper, write Leighton Baines' name down, write Seamus Coleman's name down, and write Tom Davies' name down. And he needs to pick which one's the captain. And whichever one's the captain, captains the team week in, week out, and is more importantly in the team week in, week out. For me, I love Seamus Coleman, and I was one of them fans saying years ago, Seamus Coleman should be our captain 100%. And then he took the armband and I thought, maybe he's not right for it. For me, if Marco Silva's going to keep taking him out and putting him in and giving John Joe Kenny his opportunity, that's fair enough. But Seamus can't be our captain if he's not even good enough to be in the starting 11. We need consistency. I don't mind the overall club captain being Jagielka. That's fair enough. He's been there that long, and he's probably not going to play much game time at all in the current state just because of the situation. But there needs to be an established captain that plays week in, week out, no matter what. Unless they are injured and they physically cannot play, they need to play. And for me, I think Marco Silva would do well to give Tom Davies that responsibility and say, listen, Tom, you're keeping on playing like this, you're keeping the armband and you're going to be in the team week in, week out. Not give him the armband and then when he has a bad game, take him out, give it to someone else and then put him back in maybe, but keep it on Sigurdsson. This season, we've seen Davies, Sigurdsson, Coleman, Baines, a couple of others, I'm pretty sure, take the captain's armband. And it just doesn't help anybody. How are the players meant to take responsibility? How are the players meant to give instruction when nobody really knows who the captain is? It can't be Phil Jagielka because he doesn't play. How can it be Seamus Coleman because he's in and out the team? It can't be Leighton Baines, he's not the first choice left back. Maybe it has to be Tom Davies. Maybe you'd have to give him that responsibility and go, listen, you're going to be playing week in, week out if you keep this form up. And you're the captain now. And you're going to be the captain. Whether Seamus is in the team, whether Leighton Baines is in the team, you're going to be the captain. You are the future. There's no point giving the armband to somebody like Leighton Baines who might play once in a blue moon. And then every other game, Luca Dean plays. There's no point giving it to Seamus Coleman if you're going to look to, push John Joe Kenny into the squad, which is rightly so. What we had on Wednesday night, was 3 players that changed it for me. We had John Joe Kenny coming in, who was absolutely fantastic, considering the players he had to mark. He was absolutely fantastic. He had to mark Sane out of a game, and he had to mark Raheem Sterling out of a game, and he done it fantastically well for me. You had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was also fantastic, won everything in the air that he had to, took the ball down when he needed to, passed it on. And you had Tom Davies, who made a tackle in the first 5 minutes that he didn't need to make, and it riled the crowd up. And he was looking forward, and he was bursting forward, and he was using his brain, and he wasn't restricted. And then 3 players have to start again tomorrow against Watford, because I said it earlier on in the stream, and I'll say it again. We just didn't have enough quality to beat Manchester City on Wednesday night. We didn't create enough chances, and we didn't pressure them enough, for me. And we lacked, we let in 2 silly goals. More importantly, the first goal, which was really, really stupid, and we've seen too many times now. If we if we fight exactly like we did on Wednesday night, if we bring that passion, if we bring that urgency, and if we bring that willingness to listen, we're just going to go that way and we're going to actually try and play some decent football. I firmly believe we'll beat Watford because we will have enough to beat them, and we will create the chances, and we will, get a lot more opportunities, because it's very tough to get opportunities against the best team in this league, and that's who we played on Wednesday night, and he didn't batter us. Yes, they beat us 2-0, but the last goal was in the 97th minute. It was a 1-0 game, and even that one goal was a goal that you think, Jesus Christ, we're conceding this every single week. If we were a little bit more screwed on, if we were a little bit more, aware of balls coming into the box, we wouldn't have conceded that goal either. For me, I think Marco Silva has to go with the same team, and that's what I would go with. And I think it's really important that John Joe Kenny plays again, Tom Davies plays again, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin plays again, because I think them 3 players turned it up on Wednesday night against the best team in the league. So let's give them a run of form against, teams that we know we can beat and we should be beating in Watford. I'll just go to the live comments now and have a little look at what people are saying. Rob says, I'd play the same team except change Walcott for Richarlison. Fair enough. I probably would do also. I know I've cut Adam Ola-Lookman in. We'll explain that in a minute. I thought Walcott was really, really poor on Wednesday night. Jamie says, what a jackass. Not too sure who he's referring to there. Emily says Marco Silva will leave the team. I don't think Marco Silva's going anywhere personally. James says hopefully he won't, because I really think this will work out for him in the long run. I agree. Jamie says sometimes I wish we had Bob Fellaini back. He tries and gets stuck in. We missed that in recent seasons. And Rob also says Fellaini was class for us. That's what we do miss. We miss somebody that's going to get involved, going to get the socks dirty, not afraid to throw themselves in when it needs to, get in the deep end when they need to. And that's what we've been lacking in recent weeks. And that's why I took a lot from Garner's game on Wednesday night, because I thought Garner Gay got himself involved. He got stuck in. He could have easily let his head go there and say, you know what, I'm playing it safe. I'm just going to waltz around the pitch every game I play now for Everton in the hopes that PSG will come back up and say, yeah, well, we want you to get in the summer. But he didn't. He grew as the game grew, and he grew as the fans grew as well, and he was getting stuck in. He was throwing himself involved. One criticism as well of Garner Gay in recent weeks and months is that he just doesn't get stuck in enough. Yes, he wins balls back, and yes, he gets involved, but he doesn't get stuck in the really tough challenges that he needs to, whereas he did on Wednesday night, and I was really, really impressed with that. Rob says Fellaini was class for us. I do agree. Emily says Pickford, I don't know if you're referring to as captain. I'd give him another couple of seasons just to focus on his own game before I considered him as captain. Rob says, can we have him and Tim Cahill back, please? I wish we had that picture, that picture of Arteta, Cahill, Stones, Baines, Coleman. If we had all them back in their prime, Jesus Christ, we wouldn't be sitting here moaning about balls coming into the box, I'll tell you that. But teams wouldn't get the opportunity. Jamie says Fellaini nods it down for Cahill, back of the net. Now Cahill is boxing the corner flag. If only. Helbo says if there is a defensive coach like Tony Pulis partnering up with Marco Silva, that would be awesome. I don't think Tony Pulis would take a role as a secondary or as a coach or as an assistant. I think if he wanted to come back to management, he'd want to be a manager of a club. And Helbo says, Cam, what do you think of Delafeo? I think he's a good player. I think he's massively inconsistent, and I think his attitude is poor. But I always said from the last time we played Watford a couple of months ago at Goodison Park, I massively respect Gerard Delafeo, because he was the only Watford player to not celebrate their goal that could have easily won them that game. He walked straight back to the corner flag, and he went to the glad seats at the end of the game and clapped the fans off as well. So I massively respect that respect that he showed us. Rob says, those were the days, mate. Yes, they certainly were. Mike says, alright mate, how's it going? Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for the kind words. Jamie says, Silva needs to learn from other managers. Jose Mourinho got sacked essentially because he couldn't trust the same starting 11 every week. We need to be consistent. I agree 100%. Emily says, Tom Davies, our young football player, and he is the man, he certainly is. Shabba says, even if I was captain for the week, just consistency. We just need somebody that is the captain and that the players understand as the captain as well, and it not be like a flick the coin of Finch Farm on a Friday who takes the armband, because having this 5 captains thing and whoever plays takes the armband out of them, it just doesn't work for me, especially when 90% of the 5 aren't actually natural leaders. I say that because I don't want to throw Tom Davies in there because he is still only young. Emily says captain is Leighton Baines. Marco Silva might have identified the captain as Leighton Baines, and that's fair enough, but for me, you can't have Leighton Baines as the captain if he's not playing week in, week out, because that way players aren't going to take instruction from a player that's not even good enough to be in the team himself. And for me, that's a massive issue. Helbo says, I think Jamie O'Hare was referred to Troy Deeney as the jackass. And then Jamie says, yeah, I was, mate. Yeah, then 100%, I agree. Absolute tit he is. Asian Gamer says, yo, I'm a Man United fan. Are you guys Silva out? I'm personally not Silva out. I think Marco Silva has been very naive at times this season, and I think there is issues there that he needs to look at himself in the summer and reevaluate and see where he can go from here. But I wouldn't be sacking him yet, purely because I don't think sacking him would benefit Everton. And with the season is pretty much over as it is anyway, so it's there's no need to sack him. There isn't a need. Mike says, what about tying Walcott up top? See how he does. Personally, I'd take Walcott out for the next couple of weeks. I just don't think he showed the effort for me. I don't think his effort was there at all. I think he was really, really poor on Wednesday night in terms of, I don't mind having a poor performance and, not being on your game, but not trying is inexcusable for me. Asian Gamer says, you guys can have Rom. I'd take a prime Lukaku at the minute, but again, his attitude isn't really, at where it should be for a player of Everton Football Club, and he's not that good anyway, so it'd be a waste of wages and money. And Jamie says, Walcott wouldn't be anywhere near my starting 11. Fair enough. Rob says, good call, orders a number 10. Jamie says, Lookman over Walcott any day. I agree at the minute. Chaba says, for your information, I'm watching Mainz versus Leverkusen, Villa versus Sheffield Wednesday, and yourself all at the same time. Thank you very much for the commitment, Shabba. I hope you're keeping an eye on Kieran Dahl for us. Let us know in the live comments if he does anything, scores or anything like that while we are streaming. Asian Gamer says, quick top 4. City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool. John says, Sheffield Wednesday. Just there, Cam, to keep you updated on the scores. Sharp score too. Thank you very much, John. Rob says, not sure what's happened to Walcott. Awful these days. He has been really, really poor in the last couple of weeks. And Shabba says, how's about that? I take it you're talking about the goal. Or the fact that you're watching all us at the same time. Yeah, massive, massive, massive thank you for the support on the team, as per usual, Shabba. And everybody else who is in here as well. So I suppose we'll go on to talk about my predicted starting 11 in just a minute. Sheffield United, not Wednesday, did I say? I meant United, sorry about that. So we'll start to talk about my predicted starting 11, of course. Briefly mentioned earlier on in the stream that I've gone for the same starting 11 as the one that played against Manchester City. So I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal, John Joe Kenny at right back, Kurt Zuman and Michael Keane at centre back with Luca Dean at left back. A midfield 3 of Adissa Garnegay, Andre Gomez and Tom Davies, obviously keeping the armband. I've gone for Richarlison on the left, Dominic Calvert-Lewin keeping his place up front, and Ademola Lookman on the right. Now, I mentioned it briefly. I'll mention it again. For me, John Joe Kenny, Tom Davies and Dominic Calvert-Lewin have to play this game. I thought they were all absolutely fantastic the other night against the best team in the country, against the best players in the country. And I think to take them out of the team would really be a disheartening thing to do for Marco Silva. I think he almost has to leave them players in because of how well they played and the fact that they actually showed that they're going to give a little bit of fight. John Joe Kenny isn't afraid to throw a challenge in. Tom Davies isn't afraid to get the ball and run forward when he's instructed to do so. Dominic Calvert-Lewin can win the balls in the air as long as he's got somebody in and around him that'll run off him, then he will play fantastically well. What Dominic Calvert-Lewin lacked majorly on Wednesday night was any support. Nobody was running off him. The amount of headers he won in the air, and Walcott was just standing round looking. Bernard was just standing round looking. There was nobody to run off him and make that move off him. What we need to identify is that when a ball is going up in the air, when we are hitting it long, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin is to be the receiver and he has to get his head on that, somebody needs to make that run off him and somebody needs to take the initiative to go, he's going to win that and it's going to go X, Y, Z, so I'm going to stand in and around this area so that when he wins it, I can run onto it. Because just letting him go up there and win the header and then no one being around him, it doesn't help anything at all. And I think, I think that's what we were majorly lacking, any real support for Dominic Calvert-Lewin on Wednesday night. But overall, I thought he had a really, really good game and I thought he'd done what he could do. Again, Tom Davies, we've mentioned before, he works for me in a regular midfield 3 that just consists of midfielders. Not specific roles, not you're going to sit back, you're going to sit forward, just midfielders that do know their role and do their job. And when I say not specific roles, I don't mean don't give him a role, let him just run around and do what he wants. I don't mean that. But I mean when you put Tom Davies as a central defensive midfielder, he isn't a defensive midfielder. He isn't. His brain is at the moment just purely thinking, go forward. I'm hungry, I'm young, I want to attack. That's what his brain thinks. And I don't think he's strong enough. And I don't think he's got the wit to be a defensive midfielder. He hasn't got the brains like a player like Garner has, who knows where the ball's going to go and can intercept that. Tom Davies, for me, needs to be playing a more attacking role and he needs to be playing higher up the pitch. And I think that formation allows him to do so. Now, we'll talk about the centre-half for just a minute as well. Marco Silva said that there is a possibility that Yerry Mina will be fit for tomorrow's game. Now, it's a really, really interesting point because if Yerry Mina is fit, Marco Silva may opt to go with the 5 at the back or the 3 at the back formation with 3 centre-halves. It's something that we see him work against Burnley away. Obviously, we went to Burnley away and we absolutely thrashed them, but it's something that we'd seen, quite, not work effectively against teams like City away. I think we played it, and Tottenham as well, if I'm right in thinking we played it against Tottenham. Listen, for me, I think 5 at the back or 3 at the back, however you want to call it, could work. I think we've seen it work to the best of its ability, aka going to Burnley and absolutely thrashing them off the park. I think for me, we'd need Yerry Mina to ease himself back in to playing football, because obviously he's been out now for 2 or 3 weeks. I think sticking him in as a 3 centre-back in a 3 centre-back partnership, you would then obviously have to sort of play with the 2 central defensive midfielders, aka meaning it will probably be Tom Davies that comes out, because Adesina Gay will play there, and Andre Gomez. Now, for me, I mentioned it when we were originally playing the 5 at the back. I wouldn't play Adesina Gay and 3 centre-halves. I just think it's defensive overload, and I don't think it's needed. However, saying that, I think a midfield of Gylfi Sigurdsson at the minute, Tom Davies and Andre Gomez will be leaving you a little bit short in terms of players that can just sweep up and do that average role. I think Adesina Gay plays a massive part to this team when we're playing just a normal back flat 4. When we're playing a 5 at the back, it doesn't necessarily work. And maybe Marco Silva would go with a 3 at the back formation with 3 centre-halves. Maybe he'd have Andre Gomez and Gylfi Sigurdsson in the centre of defensive midfield, and then push Tom Davies up and maybe play Tom Davies as the 10. I'm not too sure whether he'd want to do that. I'm not too sure whether that'd be something that he would, think of doing. But maybe it would work. Who knows? I think Tom Davies playing as that number 10 role would massively help him, because, again, it's a role that he can only focus on going forward. It would help him more than playing as a central defensive midfielder. And he would have to play in a number 10 for me if we play 5 at the back. But personally, I'd go with the same formation, I'd go with the same personnel, and I'd see how that team and that formation done against a team that maybe aren't as good as Manchester City, a team that haven't got as much quality. Yes, Watford are going to come with, a whole load of passion, they're going to come with a whole load of fight, and they're going to want to win the game of football, but they haven't got the quality that a City have. So we match them with that passion, we match them with that fight. I think we can get something out of this game. Please do let me know if the stream is working correctly. It's coming up that there may be a couple of issues. At the minute, I'm just going to go onto my phone and make sure that we are working as we should be, because I don't want there to be any issues. I don't want you guys to have any problems watching. No, I think it's fine. I think it seems fine at the minute. Please do leave a like on the stream, by the way, if you are enjoying so far. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. We're currently 8 subscribers away from 350, which is absolutely massive. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. It means a massive amount to me. Let's get back into the live comments then. What are you guys saying? And where are we up to? Asian Gamer says, wait, Chelsea second and not Spurs. To be honest, I was just focused on not putting Liverpool second. I'm not too sure. Asian Gamer says, Man City first, Liverpool second, Spurs third, United fourth. Maybe. Emily says, starting 11, Pickford, Coleman, Zuma, Mina, Baines, Gomez, Gay, Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, Richarlison, Tosin. He might go with that. We'll have to see. I personally wouldn't have Baines in there, and I wouldn't have Sigurdsson in there either, but maybe he'll go with that. Asian Gamer says, I think Watford are going to win 2-0, my opinion. Fair enough, everybody is entitled to an opinion. Mike says, thing is with Dom or anyone up front, we don't create chances for them, so they're missing out on the game. Exactly, and that's a massive issue that needs sorting quickly. Helpo says, 100% agreeing with your starting 11. Calvert-Lewin is more suited playing against the more physical side. Asian Gamer says, so you guys don't have a good striker? No, I'd say we have decent strikers, but we don't have a striker good enough to play week in, week out and score week in, week out in the Premier League. Helpo says, yes, I really like Tom. Always look up and try and pass the ball and move the whole team forward instead of playing sideways. 100%. Emily says, Pickford, Coleman, Zuma. I think that's the same team that I've just read out. Fair enough. Gamerboy says, Calvert-Lewin is not physical at all. I disagree, mate. I think Calvert-Lewin is very physical. I think he wins a lot of balls in the air. And I think, where was that comment then? Let me just double check it so I don't get the name wrong. I think, was it Mike? Oh no, it was Helpo. I think Helpo says there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin really does benefit playing against a more physical side, he gets up and he wins balls in the air, and more importantly, he can win balls for players around him. But like we've said there, like a lot of the comments have said there, Mike says it, there's no point if there's nobody around him to help him. There's no point if nobody's running off him. There's no point if nobody is creating opportunities for Dom. He can't do everything on his own. He's not the finished article. He is still a young player that's learning his trade in this league. So if he's expected to win balls in the air and jump up and, win the header, then people have to be around him to run off that and to bring the team forward as well. Mike says, "Dream sound, mate. Thank you very much, Mike, for letting me know." And Emily says, "You are a man." I am a man. I think you're referring to me. I don't know, but I am anyway. But yeah, for me, this is going to be a massive game of football. It really, really is, and it's practically a must-win, I think, because what we need to do now is we need to take that passion, we need to take that fight, and we need to take that energy that we've seen in the Manchester City game, and we need to apply it to the games against the weaker teams, aka your Watfords, aka what we should have done against the Southamptons, Brightons, Leicesters. We need to now show that we want to win football matches week in, week out, and we are going to give every single ounce of energy and passion that we have to win football matches. It's no good, saying, listen, we're on paper, we're better than you, so we're just going to go out and just waltz around and do what we like, because it doesn't work. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and at the minute, Everton haven't been working hard enough. Those players haven't been working hard enough. What we seen on Wednesday night, yes, was a defeat. Yes, was 2 stupid balls into the box. But what we seen was a team working hard enough and working for each other and working for the manager and the fans. And we ended up, for a large part of the game, keeping the best team in the league at bay, stopping them from breaking through or stopping them from scoring goals. If we can do that against a team like Watford, plus adding a couple of chances creating on top of it, and making sure that we're getting shots on target, then I think we'll win the game. I think we'll be okay tomorrow, but we need to make sure, again, we're bringing that passion and we're bringing that fight. And for me, that's why players like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, John Joe Kenny and Tom Davies have to start this game, because they are the players that at the moment are bringing that urgency and are bringing that fight and passion at the minute, and are actually showing that they want to play for the badge. It's going to be a tough game, it really, really is. It's going to be a hostile atmosphere no matter what Troy Deeney says, no matter how much he asks the fans to not get on Marco Silva's back. They're going to get on Marco Silva's back. They're going to want to intimidate, and they're going to want to make Silva feel like he's coming to a lion's den. That's what they're going to want to do, and those players as well are going to want to show that we're coming to a lion's den. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that we bring that and we're ready for that, and we say, well, you know what, you can be a little bit feisty, you can be a little bit passionate, but we're going to be 10 times as feisty. So we're going to throw the first hard challenge in, not a stupid challenge, not a silly tackle, but we're going to throw the first hard challenge in and make sure we're there. Zuma's going to be physical, Keane's going to be physical. If it's Mina's going to be physical, not stupid, physical. You're going to let the Watford players know that we are there and we're there to win, because that's what we need tomorrow. We need the 3 points. Now, we can sit here and say about how improved the City performance was and how it was nice to see a bit of fight and passion, but at the end of the day, when all's settled and in love and war, or whatever you want to say, we lost that game of football. It was another 3 points lost. It was another loss to the record. We need to start winning now. We can't be conceding goals every week of balls coming into the box. It's an issue that needs assessing. I personally don't think Marco Silva will have reverted back to man-to-man. I think he should. I think he needs to, at least until he brings players in that can play zonal marking. But I don't think he will have. We need to create more chances. Whoever's up front, whether it's Tosin, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, players need to be creating chances for them, because at the minute it's no good sticking a player up front and everybody around him not doing anything. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, Emily says Marco Silva is not a professional. I disagree. I think he's very professional. Chaba says you the man. I think he was trying to say. Fair enough. Thank you very much. Emily says Marco Silva is not a coach. Fair enough. Helbo says, got this idea from Toffee TV. Let's say at the end of the season, Everton is 7th. Do you think 7th is a hindrance? It's a good question. Obviously, it would get us into Europe. Obviously, it would get us into the Europa League. I think if we do finish 7th, we really need to spend in the summer, and we need to bring players in that are better than the players that we have, to make sure that in the amount of games that we'll play next season, the players that are currently playing for Everton now will be the teams that are playing those, midweek games, playing those games on the Sunday. And obviously the better players we sign will be the players, playing week in, week out, playing in the Premier League and maybe playing in the tough Europa League games. You need a massive squad to play in the Europa League. And whilst we have a massive squad at the minute, a lot of them players are nowhere near good enough to play in the Premier League, and they're going to be called on to play in the Premier League if we get in the Europa League. But I want Europe because I want to travel Europe watching Everton Football Club, so I can't say I don't. Gaming Boy says, DCL is shite, mate, just stick to the modelling, lad. I disagree, but again, fair is fair. He says, Mark Silva's not professional. We've already dealt with that. I disagree, sorry. Gaming Boy says, we're not good enough for Europe. We're definitely not at the minute. I agree with that one. And Mike says, I think it's not man or zonal marking, it's the players. They need to wake up sometimes. They don't smell danger or see movements in the box on set plays. Yeah, I agree, and I think that's the issue for that. I don't think the issue is zonal marking. I don't think the issue is the fact that it doesn't work, because it does work. The best teams in the world play zonal marking. The best teams in world football play zonally, but we haven't got the best players in world football, and for me, our players just aren't good enough to play zonal marking. They're not screwed on enough. They're not, they lose concentration far too easily. And if the players aren't good enough to play zonal marking, then we just need to think, okay, let's revert back for now, and then let's go and bring players in that are good enough to play it, or let's improve these players in the summer and actually teach them how to play zonal marking, because it's a tough style of football to play if you're losing concentration every 2 minutes and you don't know how to play it. But anyway, that is going to do it from me today. Please do leave a like on the stream if you have enjoyed. A massive thank you to everybody in the live comments. As per usual, if you're watching this as a video afterwards, please do leave your comments in the comment section down below. I'll be visiting them, I'll be reading them, I'll be replying to them all night. What do you think about tomorrow's game? Do you think Marco Silva should stay with the same starting 11 as the starting 11 that lost on Wednesday night? Do you think he maybe should change the formation? Do you think he maybe should change some of the personnel? If so, let me know in the comments section down below. I'll obviously be back for my instant match reaction to this game tomorrow, straight after the final whistle, and then we'll have the full game review on Monday night as well, so don't forget to check that one out. That one will be around 6:15 as well. Emily says, you are like kids. I really don't know what that means. Shabba says, I'm not having that. Vicar of Joe's a hostile ground. My arse, it is. Maybe it's not, but I think there's history there, and there's definitely history, obviously, with Marco Silva and Watford. Marco Silva and the Watford fans and the Watford players as well. So they will make it as hostile as they possibly can for me. And we need to make sure that we're prepared for that, and we're prepared to beat a team that we should be beating, because we should be beating Watford, let's be honest. Helbo says, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for your time and effort. Thank you very much as well, Helbo. Thanks for being around. Gamer Boy says, defending is simple. Big dude marks the other big dude's simples. That's what you think, wouldn't you? That's what you were always taught as a kid, but it doesn't seem to be like that, considering every ball that comes into a box is pretty much a goal now against Everton. Shabba says, great stream, Cam. Now go and get that quiff sorted out. Thank you very much, Shabba. I will. I'll go and put some wax or something in it and make sure that it's looking a little bit better than it is now. But anyway, that is going to do it for me. A massive, massive thank you all for watching once again. Been a busy week on the channel this week. There's been a lot of content. There's been a lot of streams. So I really, really do thank every single one of you for always coming over and watching the streams and getting involved as well in the live comments. So a massive thank you. Like I said, if you have enjoyed the stream, please do leave a like. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're so close to 350 subscribers. It'd mean a massive amount to me if we could hit that. I'll be back for my instant match reaction to this game tomorrow. Hopefully it's a positive one, and hopefully it is a win. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.